Hello guys, welcome back to my HTML tutorial. This is session 15. In the previous session we learned about the HTML form input type of range input. In this tutorial we are going to continue the input form. In that we will learn about the HTML date time of input, month and the week. Sometimes we need to take the input from the user like a date of birth. In that case the date input will be very useful, and based on the scenario we will use the month and the week also. Let's move to the next slide. HTML date, the input type of type date generates an input field which allow a user to input the date in a given format. As I said earlier, if we want to capture the date of birth of the any users, so we will create a date type of input where user can select or enter date of birth. For example, I added some codes. Want to organize some event in that this event will goes for a duration, so I can choose from here the start date like 12 November, and the date will goes to till 18 November. Now we have HTML date time local. When we are real time working on the project like applications, when let's assume a situation when the user submitted a form, needs to record the time and the date when he requested for any product or the something like I am ordering a product. So whenever the user will order a request, we will capture the date and the time. In that scenario we can use this date time local. Here is the example how we will implement it. I first created a label inside this. Now I have a input type of date time hyphen local, and name I given meeting date, and this is the end of the label, and finally we have a button of type submit. Now we have one more input type of month, creates an input field which allow a user to easily enter month and year in the format MMYY, where MM defines month value and YY defines the year value. For example, as you may see here, first I created a label, input type is equal to month, and the name I given new month, and finally we have one button of type submit. HTML week, the input type week create an input field which allow a user to select a week and year from a drop down calendar without time zone. Let's move to the code editor so that we will write some code. I need to break the line so that my new input will come into the new line. Input, first I am going to create label for is equal to start date input type is equal to date, name is equal to start date, id is equal to start date, and that's it. let's have a look into the browser. As you may see here, now we have one label start date, and we can manually enter here, okay, or we can choose from this the drop down list. Yes, 2020, this is the start date. I am going to copy this and the paste twice. I'm going to make it end date. We will see the difference why we will use the only date and date time local. Okay, let's have a look. Let me add one more BR tag so that we will have some space in between the start and the end tag. Yes, you may see here, you can choose the value. Now I am going to add BR tag again, label for is equal to DOB. Date of birth. Input type is equal to date time local, name is equal to DOB, ID is equal to DOB, and now let's have a look in the browser and we can see the difference between the date time and the date time date. Yes, now we can see here date time. I used date time local for this control, date of the birth. Here we can choose the date and time also, but here we can choose only the date. Okay, this is the difference between using the date time and the local date time and the date value, date input type. Let me add two more BR tag to add label for is equal to month selection. I am giving just name, select month, input type is equal to month, name is equal to, I am going to copy the same, ID is equal to same, and have a look into browser. As you may see here, I can type here name or I can choose from the given drop down list. Yes, January 2020. Here I am not able to add date, but I can add opt only month and the respective year. Just one more control is remaining to write the code. I am going to do the same, label for is equal to week selection, week selection, select week, input type is equal to week, name is equal to, I am going to paste the same, and the value is, sorry, not value, id is equal to same. Now we can see the diff in browser. Yes, this is the week 45. If I will choose the today date, then you may see here week 45 is second November, is 45th week of the year 2020. In this way we can use the different type of the date and time of input based on the requirement. So guys, that's it about the today's session. Guys, if you think this video is helpful for you, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel if you not subscribed yet. And finally, thank you for watching.